And welcome in, everybody. Region weather meteorologist Matt Wintz. Good to be back with you here on this Tuesday afternoon. We've got some severe weather rolling in, so we'll get right to it here on the radar here this afternoon. Boy, how about that for timing? We did the broadcast earlier. We were saying 4 o'clock on the nose, and it crossed the border right at 4 o'clock. That's simple math for you if you can actually map out how fast something's moving and how long it's going to take to get there. But yeah, these storms are on our doorstep right now. Areas of Lake County and Porter County, you're both under severe thunderstorm warnings right now. This is for strong winds. We mentioned the primary risk with these storms is going to be for damaging winds. Not everyone's going to see damaging winds, but there are pockets within these storms as they're moving in that are producing some very strong winds on the order of 50, 60 miles per hour. That's going to be enough to cause some tree damage. That's going to be enough to blow stuff around on your property. The good news about this is we're all going to get a quick hit of some much needed rain here this afternoon into the evening hours. And so in terms of that radar right now, you can see where our storms are moving into Lake County. We've got heavy rain stretching from the Hammond area, Whiting about to get some heavy rain. The bulk of the rain and some of those stronger winds are going through Griffith right now. Maryville heads up. You've got probably another 3 minutes before that heavy rain arrives. Crown Point, you're getting into some of those heavier downpours now. St. John, you've had the heaviest rain now moving off towards your east. This is going to affect the I-65 corridor here just in time for that evening rush hour here, about another 5 to 8 minutes before it affects 65 running from the Borman all the way down into southern Lake County. This, by and large, is the strongest part of this line right now. This is where we're seeing some of the wind moving through Griffith right now, some very strong winds with that. Heads up Gary out towards the Hobart area, New Chicago, and Maryville, all in the path of some of the stronger winds within this storm. We'll stretch this line a little bit further down to the south, southern Lake County right now. Lowell, this storm is not, you're technically not in the severe thunderstorm warning, but you're getting a pretty good storm right now. It picks up in intensity down towards Shelby, where we have some penny-sized hail being reported with that. So heads up in Shelby out towards Rangeline. Even DeMont will be in the path of this storm. Should go a little north of you. Hebron heads up to you. You've got probably another 10 minutes or so before that storm moves in. And then out towards the west, again, I mentioned earlier that we couldn't have, just because the severe thunderstorm watch wasn't issued for Newton and Jasper counties doesn't mean you don't stand a chance of severe weather. And then I'll tell you what, half an hour later, they went ahead and issued a severe thunderstorm watch for both those counties. And we're watching these storms come together. A couple severe storms in the mix here. Back towards Kankakee, that's a strong cell. We'll keep our eye on it. But again, you've got a little bit more time down in Newton and Jasper County. This is our primary focus heading through Lake County right now. So you're familiar with this radar. This is the reflectivity. This shows how heavy the rain is. Real heavy downpours. They don't last long, but some blinding downpours moving in. We can also go in, as you know, and look at the wind within that storm. And that's going to be the problem with these storms, is that pocket of strong wind. And so when we look at these colors, some of the brighter yellows and oranges, those indicate the pockets within this storm. So we're all going to get rain here, but these are the pockets within that have that damaging wind risk and are producing some strong winds right now. So where are the strongest winds? Just to the east of Highland right now. This will get into New Chicago and Gary as it continues to push kind of in that direction. We've got strong winds up towards East Chicago as well. The Gary-Chicago International Airport picking up some strong wind right now. And there you go down towards Ross, getting into the Hobart area here shortly. We're also seeing some strong winds. These winds are on the order of 40 to 60 miles per hour. So while we're not talking, the 90-100 that we had a year ago with the derecho, this is enough to cause some damage. And it's been a little while since our trees have been pruned, so to speak, by Mother Nature. And so some of these branches on some of these trees could be a little weaker. You may have some weak trunks. You may have, with this rain as it moves through, may loosen up some of it a little bit. So bottom line, we stand the risk of some wind damage from some of the trees, perhaps falling on power lines, stuff like that. So power outages are possible with this. mainly for the northern half of Lake County right now. So you saw how that radar updated right now. This is our block of heavy wind or strong winds within the heavy rain. Gary, heads up, it's picking up in intensity right now. New Chicago, another probably 2 minutes. As you get up towards Lake Station, we probably got another 5 or 6 minutes before this wind hits. Hobart, same for you. I think the strongest of the wind is going to go just north of you. We'll have to keep an eye on the exact movement of this, but you're still going to get some pretty strong wind in here. This gust of wind that we see here is kind of moving like this right now. This is our corridor that we're watching here, okay? Down to the south, Maryville, that wind is going to pick up. It's going to be borderline severe intensity. I think we've got probably 30 to 40 mile per hour gusts coming in. Should be pretty brief with that. I-65 now starting to rock and roll with some of those stronger winds as well. Down towards the south, this pocket is kind of noise. I know you look at this and say, whoa, there's some really strong winds by Roselawn. I don't think that's a true read of what's happening right now in the atmosphere, so I'm not too worried about that one. However, we are going to keep our eye on some of these wind gusts when these storms down in Newton and Jasper counties as well. Storm heading towards Fair Oaks, and that bigger storm is down by Shelby right now. So here's what we're dealing with. Line of storms continues to advance out towards the east. The timing has been right on with this. This is not a blockbuster severe day. We mentioned that in our earlier broadcast that, you know, this is going to be a pretty quick hit of storms, all right? This thing's going to roll in. You're going to get some gusty winds. Some of you are just going to see heavy rain out of this. There's lightning with it as well, although not a ton of lightning, but there is some lightning with this. And there's some very small hail, all right? That hail is not going to be much of a factor within these. At least in my mind, it's more the damaging wind pockets that we're going to continue to watch. And there is a very, very, very tiny risk of a spin-up tornado with this, and that would be primarily Lake and Porter counties as you're closest to the parent low, which is off towards the north, okay? So that's what we're dealing with here, here on this live broadcast. All right, let me know what you're seeing outside. Love the comments coming in. I'm going to go ahead and flash these on the screen here, so whatever comments that you have in terms of what's happening in your community, please let us know. Diane says, went through Highland area. Annette says, super windy, sheets of rain in Griffith right now. Yeah, the worst is past you right now, Annette. But yeah, you got hit with some of the strongest wind within that, so hopefully it wasn't too bad. Joe mentions downpouring, getting windy, loud thunder in the Whiting area. It's not terrible, but wouldn't want to be outside, right? And that's, Joe, that's kind of a good summary of what we're seeing here in terms of kind of the intensity of this. These storms aren't blockbuster, right? But if you're outside and you get some of these really strong winds around here, and lightning and heavy rain that lasts, you know, for a couple minutes or so, yeah, that's weather you're going to want to take shelter for. Anyone that's out at a park, going for a walk or anything like that, these storms are worthy enough of heading towards a safe place, all right, rather than waiting it out from a shelter or something like that that's open. So this is what we've got right now. Again, skinny line of storms. We're going to clear out quickly on the backside of this. There is a possibility that we have a pop-up on the backside. Some of the models are hinting at that. I would not expect any pop-ups beyond this initial line to go severe. This is really going to be a one-and-done kind of situation. Notice how it's structured, though, with this line. As you head back towards the west, it's filling in more with this area right here, which is going to last longer, all right? This Lake and Porter County action is going to come through with a quick hit. Newton, Jasper, Stark counties, even southern areas of LaPorte County. Please know what county you're in. Those areas are going to see rain a little bit longer, as we've got kind of two little areas of energy down to the south. We've got this one right here is meeting up with this initial line here. And so it's all kind of coming together. So radar analysis, that's my thing. I love figuring out what the radar is going to do, not what it's doing. This is going to form into a bigger blob here. And this is going to kind of fade back in here, if that makes sense. Everything kind of coming together. You can see that energy coming together. So heads up to those in Wheatfield, Couts, Roselawn, up towards DeMont. I would imagine this fills in with some very heavy, much needed rain for you. And you'll probably be our big rainfall winners here before the evening's out. All right. So let's get back to square one right now. We've got, again, severe thunderstorm warnings. For warning means it's happening. All right. We've got it moving in for Lake and Porter counties right now. We'll see if this wind holds. I'll keep my eye on the wind within this storm. It will likely get extended as we go out towards the east as well. And I'm getting word there's a new warning right now. Let's see what we've got. Oh, they're trimming back the severe thunderstorm watch. That's what we're doing right now. And that makes sense. Once this line goes through, the severe weather threat is going to be over. All right, so let's dive back in. We got a couple new radar scans in here and some new folks on board. So let's talk about where that wind is within the storm. So we know we're going to get heavy rain. That heavy rain now moving right over the I-65 corridor, up towards the 80-94 split there, up towards the Borman. U.S. Steelworks getting some heavy rain right now. This will stretch into Ogden Dunes, Miller Beach, Lake Station. Heads up, the storm is on your doorstep right now. Hobart, you know those dark skies are coming in. You can probably see a bit of a shelf cloud coming in with this as well. You're just a couple minutes out for some of the stronger winds. Heads up to you now in areas of Porter County, from Portage up towards Ogden Dunes, Chesterton, Valparaiso. Heads up to you guys. The storm's getting close enough that you probably should take it inside. We do have some lightning with it as well. And remember, that lightning can strike outside of the main line of storms. Earlier, we had a thunderstorm at our house here, and the storm was like 15 miles away, and we had a lightning strike not far. That's why I always, probably against the kids' wishes, I take them out of the pool a little early if there's a threat of lightning. But I would do that if you're in Porter County, even LaPorte County. Get the kids out of the pool if that's where they're at right now. Maryville picking up some heavy rain. Crown Point, you're about done. You've got just a general good garden variety rain falling right now. The heaviest is east of you, heading towards Winfield. And then down towards the south, I mean, these storms starting to pick up, at least in the rainfall department, up towards Range Line, Hebron. Heads up, you've got some heavy rain, maybe some small hail heading your way with that storm. It's technically not severe, but it is one of our strongest thunderstorms that we have right now in the area. Fair Oaks getting some rain. That rain, too, will get into the Wheatfield area, and you can see it extends back down towards the west. Let's look with the latest scan, though, at the wind. That wind is really the main issue within this. We just got a brand new scan. Yeah, we're still packing some real strong winds in the northern half of the storm. So I would imagine they will not just continue the severe thunderstorm warning for Porter County, but if this keeps up, LaPorte County, you would probably be under severe thunderstorm warning once this storm approaches. But we've got a little bit of time before it gets there. The worst of the storm right now is right over Gary, getting into Lake Station. So if you are one of our followers in the Lake Station area, make sure you're in a safe place right now. You've got 40 to 60 mile per hour wind gusts coming your way with this. New Chicago, Hobart, again, getting clipped by this. The strongest wind is north of you, but you've got gusty winds right now. And there's your wind update. These bright yellows indicate the areas where we're seeing 40 to 60 mile per hour wind gusts within this storm, all right? This storm extends down to the south, so we've got the rain all over the place, but within that rain, we've got pockets, as I mentioned, where that wind is really doing its thing. And these are the pockets that we're watching. I'm also going to keep my eye on this. This is another feature I want to bring up to you. You can see here how there's this little dropout where you get this kind of darker color there where the wind isn't quite as strong. And then you've got strong wind on this side and this side of it. We'll keep an eye on that. That does indicate to me that maybe something's trying to rotate a little bit. And I don't say that to scare anyone. Storms rotate all the time. I mean, you've got a chaotic flow moving through the atmosphere, so you're going to get little spins as it does that. Same thing that would happen if you pushed your hand through a bathtub or bath water. You would see spins on the side. That's what the atmosphere is doing. It's fluid. But those are the areas that, as a meteorologist who loves to predict tornado warnings out ahead of a tornado warning, again, that's something I would watch. All right, so I'll keep my eye on that. That area rotation or slight rotation is right over Deep River right now near the Ainsworth area. All right, we've got a severe thunderstorm warning that has been trimmed back. That makes sense. So Hammond, Cherville, St. John, Cedar Lake, Crown Point, you're now no longer in that severe thunderstorm warning. That severe threat is east of you. And really, in terms of that severe threat, we've got the warning for most of Porter County. However, and the reason why is because we're going to watch this whole storm. This bottom half could strengthen. We could have some rotation with it. All right, right now it's not the worst in the southern half of the county, but the potential's there for that. That's why that severe thunderstorm warning goes further south. But by and large, this is the worst part of the severe thunderstorm warning right now in the northern half. So Lake Station, that wind is picking up right now. New Chicago, it's over you. Hobart, again, some wind for you. This is going to get into Ogden Dunes shortly. It's going to get into Portage shortly. You will likely get clipped pretty well by this. This is kind of the path that the wind is taking here. So that would involve areas like Ogden Dunes, Portage, Burns Harbor, Porter, and Chesterton as well. And then eventually getting out into Furnaceville and Burdick, all right? So heads up to all those communities. That's where the strongest potentially damaging wind is within the storm system as it continues to advance out towards the east, okay? All right, so that's what we've got within the storm. We've got this pocket of strong winds. If you are in the area, if you're in New Chicago or even Hobart, what are you seeing in Hobart right now? Portage, Is it going downhill right now? What are you seeing? You guys are the eyes out the window. I'm just staring at a radar and analyzing it. So it's that. But this line will move through pretty quick. I mean, this isn't going to be a very long event. You can see we're already clearing skies out towards the west, where we're just getting some leftover raindrops here and there in areas of that just got hit 15 minutes ago in areas of western Lake County. And then we've got, nothing but dry weather back in here. So this is going to move through pretty quickly. Again, not a huge severe event. It's not going to last all evening. This is going to be quick. I did have someone in an earlier broadcast asking me about baseball practice being right at 4 o'clock. And I said, we probably should wait this one out. Well, hopefully, if the storm has moved through that area, hopefully you've waited it out safely and give it, another 20, 25 minutes or so to let that lightning head out towards the east, and we can go ahead and play ball. This isn't something that should cancel sports practices. I know there's a lot of clubs going on, a lot of people making decisions around, hey, do we cancel this tonight due to the storms? Again, this is going to move in and out pretty quickly, so I wouldn't cancel anything here this evening. I would just take shelter as this moves through. We'll let it do its thing, head out towards the east, and then we'll relax with some quieter weather the rest of the evening with just a straight pop-up, all right? So strong winds within this. Again, that is the main thing. If you're just joining us here on our Facebook Live, I'm Matt. I'm a meteorologist. I'm actually a senior meteorologist, whatever that means, in the Cleveland area. And I used to work for Lakeshore Public Television in Maryville. I was the chief there for multiple years, 6 or 7, I believe. And then they stopped doing TV. And so I had to find a job. So I moved down to Georgia at an NBC station as a chief down there. And now I'm a morning meteorologist in the Cleveland area. But I still have region weather. We've followed the weather here in the region. I still have friends and family in Northwest Indiana. We do the radio on there. We've got full coverage when you need it for these storms. So this is our first time meeting. It's great. Excuse me. It's great to meet you. I get choked up when I talk about it. But it's great to meet you. And we're going to keep you safe through these storms. That's the whole point. Storms don't need to be scary. But man, they pack a punch. You need to be prepared for them, okay? And the big thing with this is that we need to be prepared for those damaging winds, at least the potential for that. All right, so if you're in areas like Portage right now, it's too late to head outside and get the lawn furniture or patio furniture, whatever it happens to be. So we're going to let that be. But if you're in South Haven, Chesterton, even Valpo, I would, if you've got patio furniture or something that's going to blow around, maybe you left the cushions on, kids' toys, they got that blue plastic pool that just blows around. Bring that stuff inside if you can, or take it into the garage, safely, of course, with the lightning. I don't want anyone running out in the middle of a lightning storm, but we've got a little bit of time in the Chesterton area because we're going to get some wind from this. All right, so the rain right now, we got a new radar scan. We've got a couple little nodes down here towards Hebron where we could be packing some wind now. You see these little bubbles there. That's where it kind of bows out because you've got strong wind pushing out ahead of the main line. So that's something that we're going to watch. But let's get back to the wind radar because that is my main concern is strong winds from this. And yeah, we are developing some pockets of some stronger winds down towards the south. So this pocket of strong wind developing just south of Hebron right now. DeMont getting some stronger wind. Nothing too crazy, but it is on the stronger side, probably 30, 40 mile per hour gusts in spots. Doesn't mean your neighborhood gets it, but that's what we've got as a whole down there. And then we've just got this powerful wind that continues with this system, 40, I would say 50, 60, maybe even 65 miles per hour in this northern half of this storm, which is now crossing from northern Lake County into northern Porter County. All right, Portage, you're in it. You're seeing some strong winds right now. We've got the heavy rain as well. Porter, Chesterton, you're up next. Burns Harbor won't be long either. Ogden Dunes is in it. Lake Station, the worst of the wind is over you right now. It'll eventually get better, and it'll improve pretty quickly. Again, this storm is in and out pretty fast, all right? So here's where your rain is right now. Whenever you look at this radar, this is the heavy rain, okay? So we've got heavy rain right now falling and exiting the I-65 corridor. Maryville, you've got a couple, maybe another 15 minutes or so of some light rain on the backside of this. But this is really starting to arch forward now. The forward motion on this is anywhere from 35 to 40 miles per hour. So these aren't real quick movers, but they're steady movers. And they've been moving steady out of areas of western Illinois this afternoon. We were watching them, and now they continue to push out towards the east, all right? We're now seeing the southern end of this starting to pick up in intensity a little bit. Probably have some hail near Wheeler. So let's get you covered here in Porter County. In terms of the radar right now, we've got heavy rain heading through Portage, and there's strong wind with that. We know that. but that rain really picks up in intensity just down to the south, right over Wheeler. This will get into South Haven and eventually into Valpo. We'll keep an eye on this. I think the worst will go north of you with this portion of it, should head up here, but we've got this southern portion here that's heading into Gates Corners. This will probably get right into downtown Valpo here, probably another 5, 6, 7 minutes or so before you get hit with that rain. The wind, though, so that's picked up in intensity. The wind is really the main concern. I do want to show hail real quick just to keep an eye on it. We do have some small hail falling within this. This hail radar is not in sales mode, so we're not getting constant updates, so it's a little bit further out towards the east. I would imagine it's in here right now. But that being said, Portage, a little bit of hail for you. You probably can't tell because it's raining so hard. But down to the south, you can probably see that hail in the Wheeler area, getting down towards Gates Corners. Valpo, heads up, we might have some small hail heading your way. Again, hail is not my primary concern with this. It's the rain, the blinding rain, which we need. Oh my goodness, thank you. All right, it's going to water everything. It's not going to last long, but it'll water everything. So there's that. You won't have to water tonight. But it's the wind that is the biggest issue. So looking at the wind radar right now, as we look within this, real strong winds continue. This is going to cross through the northern half of Porter County. Know where you are and know where you are in terms of the county. All right. So northern Porter County, that includes Portage right now, picking up some strong winds. Those will continue out towards the east. Porter, Chesterton, probably another couple minutes. I would say 3-4 minutes or so for you as the strong winds push in. Those will head into Burdick, eventually into Furnaceville. Town of Pines will likely get hit with this. Dune Acres, if there's any folks, which I'm sure there are, especially a day like today when it's so hot, at the dunes, they need to get away from the dunes right now. Get in your car, pack it up. These winds are going to come off the lake unimpeded. There's not a lot of friction out over the lake versus on land. There's a little bit more friction. Not that that helps when you have a huge thunderstorm. But in terms of the dunes right now, you need to get to your safe place. And the reason why, we've got very strong winds that are come whipping off that lake on the order of 40 to 60 miles per hour with some heavy rain as well. Okay. The good news is I'm not seeing any rotation. All right. There was a small risk that we could have a rotating storm or two. I don't see anything right now. This looks like mainly just straight line winds, and it's focused on northern Porter County. Okay. All right. Here's our update on the radar. Still have very strong winds getting into South Haven. You're picking up now. You've got real strong winds there. Porter and Chesterton, you are now seeing that wind pick up. All right. The skies are dark. The trees are starting to go. You're probably seeing some leaves blowing off the trees as well. And yes, I see some of the comments coming in with that. Teresa says the wind is in Chesterton right now. Yep. I know exactly what you're going through. Kareem, thanks for your update. Appreciate that. Liz says Liberty just got blasted with some heavy winds. Trash bins went down. Oh boy, it's trash day. Jan says on our YouTube channel, getting pretty dark in Porter right now. Yeah, this is on your doorstep. That wind is really going to start to pick up there, Jan. Darlene says raining good in South Haven right now. South Haven is now on the backside of the strongest wind, should be pushing out, but you've still got some good rain there as well. George, thanks for the update on the heavy rain in Portage right now. I do appreciate that. George, the worst is just east of you right now, okay? Amy says windy and heavy rain in Valpo. Yep, it's moving in, Amy. I appreciate the update. Maxwell reports it's getting dark in Couts right now. That rain is pushing in. When you see the dark sky, a lot of times people think, it means tornado or it means severe weather. The dark sky it gets darker the more moisture there is in the atmosphere. So when we have high dew point days like today, where it's ultra muggy and thick outside, we can have a lot of moisture in the air. And when there's a ton of moisture drops in the air and you've got really heavy rain coming, it means there's less chance of light getting through. And so the darkness doesn't always mean severe. The darkness just means you've got really heavy rain coming. The darker it is, the heavier, or the better indicator it is that you've got even heavier downpours than normal. So that's what we're seeing with those darkening skies. That's all that moisture coming in. All right. So here's our rain line right now. Portage, you're in the thick of it. Porter, Chesterton, this rain is about to hit. That wind is gusting right now. That rain is just a minute off or so. Down towards Valpo, that wind has really picked up for you as well. The rain is in the western half of the town of Valpo right now. Getting into Valpo here very, very shortly. You can see the heavier rain now pushing into Lincoln Hills. Coolwood Acres getting heavy rain. This stretching along West Lincoln Way, and then US 30 as well is getting hit with this. This rain is going to push in pretty quickly. You're getting that hit of wind, and then that rain will hit. The good news about this Porter County storm is that you get one round. I mean, we get one round of heavy rain, lightning, and that wind, and then it's out. There's not a whole lot of action that's lingering behind this, just some general light rain action in Lake County right now behind it, and then we'll start to clear out. However, I don't want us to let our guard down in terms of lightning once this moves through. This is really the underside of the amble. So the cloud, I'm just going to draw a two-dimensional picture real quick. This is what we've got. There's the ground. This is the ground. Here's your cloud that builds up. You've got the amble that kind of floats like that. And then you get this cloud action from the amble that kind of goes back here sometimes. And that rain that's falling in Lake County is coming out of this portion. You can still get lightning strikes way back in this section here, okay? Most of it's in here with the storm, right? But you can still get lightning well after that storm's passed. So I wouldn't go outside if you're in this area here. We could still get a rogue lightning strike with that. But the bulk of the rain and wind is gone, all right? Let's check in on our southern counties now. We don't have severe thunderstorm warnings for you, but I don't want to not cover you because we've got really heavy rain. That is our main focus right now in Newton and Jasper County is for, I mentioned earlier, you're going to have rain for longer. There's a real heavy rainfall setting up for you. It's going to last a lot longer than Lake Porter and LaPorte counties because they've got the line. You've got kind of this elongated area that's coming together. So as a result, we're really squeezing out the downpours, and they're lasting for a while. Wheatfield, you've got rain on your doorstep right now. Deer Park, a little break before more rain pushes in. But Lake Village, down towards the Enos area, Morocco picking up heavy rain. Fair Oaks, you've got the heavy rain there as well along I-65. Becomes a little bit more scattered as you get down towards Kentland. There's some rain off towards your west. Goodland picking up their first downpour. And then Rensselaer heads up. We've got a pretty good dose of rain coming your way. But the real winners in terms of the rainfall are going to stretch from Roselawn to Wheatfield. As I imagine this continues to fill in right here. This area right here is going to pick up some good rain that lasts for a good 45 minutes or so before this thing pushes out. Meanwhile, our northern counties, yeah, we get rain. It's so good to have it, and it's good to have heavy rain. And our ground will use every single drop of this for sure, but it's brief. You know, it's coming in. You get the downpour for maybe 10, 15 minutes or so. Then it becomes a light rain for another 10, 15 minutes, and it's out of here. I mean, this thing's moving through pretty quickly. So unfortunately, we're not getting enough of a good thing, but we got to count our blessings at this point. You know, we are getting some good rain out of this. All right. Here's what I don't like to see. And again, this is just radar analysis. See how it's getting a little squiggly? See how we've got this going on within this? That tells me that we've got pockets of wind that are starting to bow out a little bit more in multiple places. That also tells me I need to keep an eye on the radar because you can get spin up tornadoes in these little pockets, all right, depending on how the wind is blowing within that storm. So let's go back to the wind radar again. We'll take a look at it. So there is nothing crazy right now. I just want to let you know that. There is a little area of rotation, though, just north of Valpo. Again, not a big deal. Storms rotate all the time, but you can see this little pocket of lesser wind, and then we've got wind here. That can create a little spin motion. So what we're probably seeing out of that, as you get up towards the Lakeview area, this will get into Westville. What we're probably seeing is you've got the shelf cloud moving in. You probably see a little spin on that, or there's just a little rotation on some of the clouds there. That doesn't mean anything. I'm just saying in terms of kind of how the atmosphere goes and the chaotic, fluid nature of it, we could be, you know, picking up just a little tiny spin out of the cloud there. That's going to be harmless, hopefully, all right? I will keep my eye on it. Not a big deal, though. The big deal is this pocket of wind off towards the north, all right? All this yellow that you're looking up on radar, this goes along the toll road right now, getting blasted with some strong wind from the Chesterton exit, probably toward the LaPorte exit. You're seeing these dark clouds as you're coming in. But anyway, that Chesterton exit is getting hit hard right now with real strong winds right over Babcock right now. Woodville picking up strong winds. I have stayed at this hotel, the Hilton Garden Inn in Chesterton. We had a wedding there one time. Anyway, they're getting some really heavy rain right now. In fact, my wife actually left her wedding, not her wedding dress, but the dress that she wore for the wedding. She left it there. I don't know how she did that, but we had to call them and pick it up. So good staff there. At least there's that. But we've got strong wind there right now, and that strong wind will continue out towards the east. So where's this going? Here's kind of the big picture in terms of wind. So we do have some pockets of stronger gusts down towards Couts and Wheatfield, sub-severe right now. Here's our pocket of strongest wind in Chesterton. This is getting into the dunes right now, coming right off Lake Michigan. We've got real strong wind gusts. And so those locations right now, just be in a safe place, because these winds, they mean business. I mean, we've got wind damage likely from some of this. Do you guys have any reports of wind damage? What do you have, the folks that have been through this? Are they a big deal or are they not? We rely on you for some of that ground truth there. I can just tell you what the radar is showing me right now. But this will get into LaPorte County, and there you go. We do have that severe thunderstorm warning, which has been extended for these powerful winds in the northern half of the storm. That severe thunderstorm warning has been extended for LaPorte County, getting up into Berrien County, Michigan, as this travels somewhat like that. LaPorte heads up. You've probably got another 10, 15 minutes or so, but the strongest portion of this storm is coming your way. And so we've got a heads up for you. Michigan City, same. All right, you're going to get a pretty decent storm in there. Valpo's picking up some wind right now. Again, not off the charts, probably 30, 40 miles per hour in the strongest pockets. And that rain has hit as well, as that rain is now moving into Valpo downtown. South Haven, heavy rain pushing out right now. There's your latest radar scan. We're left over with just some light to moderate rain right now. That will last with just some light drip drops here over the next 15, 20 minutes or so. Porter, Chesterton, you are in it right now. Dune Acres, you're in the thick of it right now as well. This is getting into Town of Pines and Beverly Shores here shortly with some heavy rain and wind. So heads up to you. The dunes getting hit right now with the wind. They're getting hit with the rain. And I would imagine, just the way things go, folks were on the beach watching this thing come in, and now they're running underneath that sheltered area watching this thing. The good news is we don't have a ton of lightning with this. Could be a lot worse for this time of year, but still, it is dangerous to be outside. You just don't want to be outside in this kind of weather. I would imagine there are folks hanging out in that sheltered area. People just do that at the beach. But I would advise against that as your neighborhood meteorologist. All right, we've got heavy rain moving into Burlington Beach, Lakeview. On the north side of Valpo, you're getting hit pretty hard. We've got small hail with this as well. The hail not going to be too much of an issue. It's more the wind and the heavy rain. Valpo, you don't have much longer, though. I mean, this system's moving through pretty quick. So heavy rain, probably another 5 minutes or so, and then that'll start to push out. Further down to the south, as we get away from the severe thunderstorm warning part, we're still dealing with a decent storm. Counts that rain starting to pick up. You've got gusty winds within this as well. And you've got a shot at some decent rain coming off of the second batch here. I would imagine some of this moisture floats north and you'll get clipped by that. So that rain will keep coming for you in Couts. Wheatfield, you're locked in the heavy rain for a while. I mean, we could end up with over an inch of rain for you. This is much needed. I mean, this right here is just what the doctor ordered, and it's just what all of us need. However, we're not all getting it. But Roselawn, still picking up heavy rain. Down towards Fair Oaks, heavy rain still. Wheatfield, you're just getting your initial batch of heavy rain and wind. We've got just some heavy rain to keep going after that. Let's see what else we got. Got a couple new warnings here. Just want to make sure I'm up to date. We've got a new severe thunderstorm watch. So the severe thunderstorm watch have been extended out towards the east. That's fine. That makes sense because these storms are holding together quite nicely. All right, let's check out the wind. So down towards the south, this is kind of noisy. This is just inflow right now. I'll keep my eye on it, but there's some rotation, broad and kind of messy there down towards the south. I would imagine that's just inflow. You get this storm that's coming out, and then the storm getting kind of fed with some wind there, that warm, humid air coming in. But we'll keep our eye on that. Some gusty wind still for you down in the Wheatfield area. And then off towards the north, I mean, you can't help but notice the brighter colors. This is where our attention continues to be drawn, where our severe thunderstorm warnings are. Right over the dunes right now, strong winds, eventually getting into Burdick here. We've got very strong wind right along the toll road there as you're heading out towards the east in Porter County. So heads up, if you're out driving in this, make sure, I mean, this is like pull over worthy, some of these gusty winds. Some of the tractor trailers do that when the winds are over 60, and we have that in portions of this. So there you go. In terms of some of the comments, I have seen a couple questions rolling in about, is there a tornado? Maybe you're just tuning in for an update. What we're dealing with right now is not a tornado. We're dealing with strong winds within this line of storms. So we've got a line of strong to severe storms that continues to roll east. Here's kind of the big picture overview of everything right now. We've got this line of storms. You get heavy rain with it. We have some lightning. We've had small hail. All of those are secondary to the fact that we've got damaging winds in pockets with this. Not everyone, in fact, most people are not going to see damaging winds from this line as it continues out towards the east. Some of us are, though, and that damaging wind threat has really been confined to this storm right here that went through areas of northern Lake County. It's now in northern Porter County, and this will get into the northern half of LaPorte County, okay? That's the portion of this entire line that has strong wind with it, and that wind has been on the order of 40 to 60 miles per hour, perhaps up to 65 at times from what I'm seeing on radar, and that's going to blow stuff around. And I mentioned at the top of the broadcast is that a lot of our trees have not been pruned by Mother Nature, right? A lot of the dead branches and the weak branches rely on a pruning of strong wind gusts from thunderstorms, whether it be in the summer or big wind makers in the fall and the spring. And we haven't had that in a while. And so we may have a little bit more wind damage where those strong winds occur than what we normally would had we, had some storms over the last couple of weeks or something like that. So heads up to all of our friends in LaPorte County right now. This storm is heading your way. If you're in Lake County, we're fine. We've got a little bit of leftover rain, still a lightning chance, so keep it indoors for a little bit longer. Not too much longer, though. This line's going to head out towards the east. And then everyone down in Newton and Jasper County, and eventually Stark County, this is where the heavy rain potential is going to kind of linger as this line kind of bows back. Because of that, you get rain for longer, and that's what we're going to see moving through areas of Jasper County. We're seeing it now. Rensselaer, rain is on your doorstep, and then eventually getting into Stark County. But the reason for our coverage right now, we don't cover normal thunderstorms, all right, but we do cover severe weather here on Region Weather. If you are not signed up for daily emails, we offer that as well. So all of our folks that were on the daily email chain this morning sent out a personal email to you saying, hey, we would have storms between 4 and 8 p.m., and here we are sitting at 4:54, and we've got storms on our doorstep. So all those folks got a heads up. It's regionweather.com on the right-hand side of your screen. If you're on mobile, it's on there as well. You can sign up for daily email. It's something I type up at work in the morning. I'll make a pretty picture for you, and I'll send it to you. That's on the morning thing as well. And as always, if you're new to Region Weather, make sure you support our sponsors. They're all local to Northwest Indiana. They're family-based and just amazing businesses we put our name behind 100%. So all sorts of things on there, from heating and air conditioning to lighting to real estate agent to life insurance questions to buildings to tree services as well. If you do have wind damage for this, I do encourage you to use T&T Tree Service. They are so professional. They're awesome. You guys rave about them that use them through the last storms. Again, it's tttreeservice.com is the website. There's also a number on there for you. I can give it to you. This is the Region Weather number that'll get you right in. It's 219-300-6256. Okay, that's the number if you guys have any trees that have fallen on your property. We try to cover every aspect of weather on here that you could possibly need, and we appreciate them, and I know they'll do great work for you as well. So tttreeservice.com if you have any issues with that. All right, so here we go. This continues to head out towards the east. We've got Valpo is now out of it. The heaviest rain is now east of you. This will get into LaPorte here, probably another 15 minutes or so, maybe 10 or 15 for you. And I would keep my eye on this portion of the cell. The part that went through Valparaiso, it's right over the Porter County Airport right now, right over the Porter County Fairgrounds right now as well. This is going to head out towards the east. And I would keep my eye on that part of the line. That's the heaviest rain, and we've got some hail within that, but the wind within that may start to pick up as it approaches LaPorte. Meanwhile, the rain is kind of backed off in the northern part of Porter County. I know it's coming down good, but it's not the wall of water that was hitting those areas a little bit longer ago. So that could be some good news in terms of maybe it's weakening a bit as it approaches Michigan City. LaPorte will keep our eye on you. Long Beach, Potawatomi Park, and Michiana Shores all in line for some of those stronger winds with that one. But hopefully that part's weakening, but it's this part I'm going to keep my eye on. And then, I mean, this looks nasty, right? It's not severe, though. Remember, when we look at reflectivity, it does not mean you have a severe storm, all right? This just means you've got heavy rain. All the reds and pinks in there, that means you've got heavy rain and perhaps some hail mixed in. It doesn't mean it's severe. How do we tell if it's severe or not? Well, we look at the hail radar to see if there's hail within it, and we also look at the velocity, which tells us what the winds are doing. And yeah, there are some gusty winds. There are a couple pockets where the wind is rotating a little bit, which isn't a huge deal because storms rotate all the time. But again, in terms of the real powerful winds, I'm not seeing that with our southern county storms, and that's good news. And that's why you don't have severe thunderstorm warnings right now. But meanwhile, this northern edge of the storm up in Porter County, now getting into LaPorte County, this continues to show some strength in terms of the strong winds. One thing we have to keep in mind as we analyze the radar here is the fact that this is getting further away from the radar site right now. So this radar site is back in Romeoville in Illinois. And with the Earth's curvature, yes, the Earth is curved, believe it or not, we've got a radar beam that comes out, right? And it goes into the sky and it's looking for rain. And that's how we're getting this data with that radar beam. Well, the Earth is curved. And so as a result, that radar beam, as it travels further and further away with that curvature, radar beam travels in a straight line, right? With that curvature, it's getting higher and higher in the sky slowly but surely, if that makes sense. So as a result, what we're getting here in areas of eastern Porter and western LaPorte County is not always a true indication of what's happening down at the surface. Lake County, Newton County, those two counties get the best read of what's happening at the surface. Meanwhile, as we get further away from the radar site, we tend to start picking up stronger wind, and it looks like the wind is getting much stronger. And in reality, what we're doing is we're just getting a reading higher in the sky. All right, does that make sense to everyone? So it's still very windy within this, all right? And this is still a severe storm. I just want you to know, as these colors get further away, you may see them light up a little bit more. It doesn't mean the storm is getting stronger always, all right? We have to treat it like it is, but we're not always getting the true read at the ground. So, and that's always the case. I mean, that just happens to be where you live. If you're in LaPorte County, unfortunately, you don't get the best of radar coverage in terms of what's actually happening at the ground. All right, but what I am seeing on radar is strong wind. Still in the northern half of the storm. I thought this would weaken a little bit. It hasn't weakened much. Beverly Shores, Town of Pines, still some strong winds. Strong winds coming off the lake in Michigan City, Long Beach up towards Grand Beach. That gets into Marion County. We've got some strong winds pushing in for you as well. Probably on the order of 40 to 60 with that, okay? Down towards the south, Westville heads up to you. You've got some wind that's already started, but it does pick up. It'll get pretty gusty just out towards your west, so another 3 minutes or so in Westville. And you're going to be picking up some real strong winds as well. Valpo, you're done. A little bit of leftover rain. We've got a couple lightning strikes around, so keep it inside for a good 20, 25 minutes or so. But the bulk of the rain is east, and the bulk of the strong wind is east as well. We can time this out. I haven't done that yet. Let me time it out through LaPorte County. That's not the one to use. Let's use this one here. We're going to time out these strong winds through LaPorte County right now. Here we go. There we go. And it's moving anywhere from 35 to 40. We'll do 40 just to be safe. So this will get into LaPorte in about another 12 minutes. We said 10 to 15, so 12 for you. Monroe Manor in 14, Byron in 20 minutes, Rolling Prairie in 21, and then Hudson Lake in 28. It's getting outside of our area. But you get the idea in terms of timing of these strong winds. And that's the part of the storm that we're going to keep our close eye on. All right, let's go back to the radar real quick. I want to check that out. And you can see this is just such a skinny little line. There's really not much to this, but it's packing a punch still. This is getting further away from its source of energy, which is the low pressure that's up in Wisconsin. These storms did nothing but rotate up in Wisconsin. In fact, I'm going to zoom out real quick. Yeah, it looks like they're done rotating. That's good. They had numerous tornado warnings with this up in Wisconsin. For us, this is our only severe thunderstorm warning. I mean, this whole line, you see it stretches down towards the south. And boy, did that fill in. If you joined us at our afternoon update that we had on here, we were debating whether this line filled in down here. And boy, did it. Some of the models showed that it wouldn't. But this hot and humid atmosphere has really done its thing. So we've got an elongated line. If you have travel plans, maybe you're traveling on business or perhaps on leisure, whatever it happens to be, maybe you're going to Indianapolis this evening, you're going to follow this line all the way down. This line is going to affect I-65 all the way down towards Indy. Not severe the whole way, but there's a lot of lightning with this, and it's causing a lot of problems on the roads in terms of the ponding of water and poor visibility. And so this will head downstate as we go throughout the afternoon. But in terms of what that storm looks like locally here, we can tell what areas would be severe or where the dynamics are best. And those dynamics are best here in our northern counties, all right? This is where we had the highest risk for severe weather today. And that's kind of what we're seeing with that strong wind that continues to move in LaPorte County. All right, Newton, Jasper County, we're getting heavy rain for you. The rain is about done in Morocco finally. Kentland, you've got one final hit of some heavier rain here. Rensselaer, heavy rain. It's heaviest north of you, but you've got another little downpour coming in with another one after that. So that rain will keep going for you. And how about you folks in Wheatfield? Boy, we highlighted you about 10, 15 minutes ago for that rain train to be on, and you will continue to see those heavier downpours. This is great news for the ongoing drought. I did post on Region Weather on our Facebook page earlier, right up probably where you're watching us. I did post earlier the drought. I did a little research in terms of how much rain we need over the last 90 days, and so I made a map. We need anywhere from some folks are 3 to 4 inches below average in the last 90 days. I mean, this is like growing season, right? We know it's been dry, but how dry? Some folks need anywhere from 5 to 7 inches of rain. Just incredible. And that's just to go back to even. We're not going to get that from this event. We're picking up anywhere from half an inch to an inch of rain out of this. A little bit heavier down towards the south, perhaps. But this isn't enough of a good thing, but we got to start somewhere, right? And our pattern next week, we talked about this in our earlier broadcast as well. Our pattern next week is going to be a pattern we haven't seen this summer yet. We really haven't, where you get the big dome of heat, right? 90s and 100s widespread. This one will center down in Tennessee, like Tennessee Valley, and then out towards the Missouri Valley. It'll be down to our south. We'll be hot, but the real core of heat is going to be there where there's no storms. And then we're going to get into this ridge runner pattern, or ring of fire pattern that we call it, where you get storms that develop on the northern end of where that heat meets the cooler air. And so bottom line, my whole point of saying this is we've got a real threat of severe weather this weekend, yes, but more so next week as this pattern establishes itself. And it comes from, if you guys remember, it's not situations like this. It's large complexes of storms that develop where you just get a ton of lightning. We can get derechos somewhere in the country from this pattern where the storms develop and they kind of curve along that boundary of heat. That's what we're going to be dealing with next week. And so I say that to bring up the point that we have more chances of rain as we go into next week. Not every day is going to contain rain, but we'll have waves of these complexes of storms. And we always look for where those tracks are, or where the storm track is for where they go. And it looks to be centered somewhere over the southern Great Lakes. So as a result, we have a pretty good shot at some more heavy rain, but we also have the shot at more severe weather next week. So something that we'll be watching here. All right. Newton and Jasper County, there's just a special weather statement out for you. There's nothing severe with that. It's a pretty decent storm, though. You're going to get some heavy rain, lightning, and some gusty winds. We continue with our severe thunderstorm warning in LaPorte County. So the storm system will be out in not too long, but Michigan City getting hit right now. This part of the cell from Westville down towards Wanata is packing a punch. We've got a little small hail in there. And then look at this, north of La Crosse right now. You would think, wow, Matt, that's some really heavy rain. I bet that's some decent hail. It looks like our hail has increased there. Let's check the hail radar real quick and take a look. Well, it's not updated. That's the problem. I would imagine once this updates, we'll see a little hail core right here. Could be on the order of quarter size with that. So heads up to the folks in Hannah and Kingsford Heights, eventually out towards Walkerton. Could get some decent hail with that. Hamlet and northern Stark County, you could get some hail from that storm as well. Let's go back to the wind. That's my main concern here with this band of storms. Still dealing with the pocket of strong winds getting into LaPorte now. So LaPorte, you've got the dark skies. You've got the rain that's getting ready to push in. And we've got strong winds that are just behind that initial hit. So heads up to you. We've got strong winds getting ready to push in. Timber Ridge picking up some strong wind right now. Pinhook for you as well, back towards Holmesville. This will get into Pine Lake. And then eventually in the Summit, you're getting some stronger winds as well. We've got another pocket of strong wind that just went through Michigan City. So Michigan City, things will start to relax a little bit. This is getting into Springfield, Springville as well, and eventually into Heston here in probably another 10 minutes or so. The bulk of this wind will stay in the extreme northern half of LaPorte County. So Latimer, you'll likely have some strong wind from this. And then it should push across the border, kind of following I-94 there as you get up into Berrien County in Michigan. Okay? So that's what we've got for you. So real two pockets of stronger winds that we're watching right up here and right in here. All right? And those are still packing a punch. And we've had reports of anywhere from 40 to 65 mile per hour winds with this. And so that's enough to cause some damage. Good news is I do see kind of a weakening trend to this line as it continues to advance out towards the east. You see it's starting to fall apart a little bit. We're even seeing some development kind of out ahead of it, which tells me that perhaps we're developing a bit of an outflow. We'll see. We'll see what happens with this. But LaPorte County, prepare for a decent storm. Downtown LaPorte right now, that storm's moving in. Wanata still getting hit with a decent storm right now. Wellsboro, Union Mills, Kingsford Heights. The storm's heading in your direction. And then this continues to be an eye-opener here with this little hail core I'm seeing north of La Crosse right now. This will get into Thomaston pretty soon. This is along West 1700 South, eventually getting into the South 600 West corridor, which runs north and south out of the Thomaston area. So heads up to you. That's got a decent hail core with it. Looks like it shrank a little bit, but still a good storm for you heading into Thomaston and Hannah. La Crosse still in the thick of things right now. Let's go further south. Wheatfield, my goodness, it's still raining for you. Build the Ark now. No, we need it. San Pierre getting some of that rain now. This will get in North Judson here shortly. Nothing severe with this. We're going to keep our eye on this line, though. We'll put it into motion so you can kind of see how it's evolving here. And I mentioned there was an area of energy towards the back that was catching up with the area of energy towards the front. So we are now seeing that come to fruition as this line has kind of exploded with better organized heavy rain right now. Thereafter, what we were going to watch for as that those two lines kind of came together right now, what we're going to watch for is some pockets of wind to start to develop. After that, it kind of came together, it organized. Now that it's organized, we may see some decent pockets of wind develop for our folks down in eastern Jasper County, but Stark County more importantly. All right, we'll keep an eye on that. Going back to the wind radar again. Yeah, there you go. So we're starting to see some pockets of stronger wind. So Rensselaer just north of town. We've got good lightning as well. You notice how that lightning's upticked? Lightning is often an indicator that storm is strengthening. All right, if you see an uptick in lightning or you hear an uptick in thunder, not from something getting closer but more frequent, that tells you that a storm is strengthening. That can tell you a lot about a thunderstorm. If the thunder kind of goes away or the lightning kind of goes down, overall I would say that things are starting to subside a little bit within that. But we're going to keep our eye on this. Again, we've got area of rotation perhaps within this as well. It's kind of noisy. I'm not too worried about it. But some stronger winds heading just north of Rensselaer right now. We'll give you a heads up to our friends out in North Judson and Knox. Could get some of the stronger winds as that further develops, okay? So that's what we've got right now. In terms of our forecast here, the rest of the evening, this line is going to move through pretty quickly. It has. We're fine in Porter County. We're fine in Lake County right now. Just some lingering showers. Again, that lightning risk lasts for a good 20, 25 minutes after the storms move through. So keep the kids out of the pool. You got sports practice. Wait until you don't hear thunder. There's usually rules around that stuff anywhere. So overall, you'll be safe in a little bit here in those counties. Just some lingering rain. Areas of Newton County, notice the lightning strikes. These are from this line as it moved through, but still perhaps a stray strike or two outside of that. Meanwhile, this line is just heading through with some heavy rain in areas of Newton and Jasper counties right now. Jasper County getting the thick of it. This will head out into the Winnemac area. Knox heads up to you. We've got rain pushing in your direction. And then really the only thing that we're watching right now in terms of the severe, the worst part, it continues to be these stronger winds in northern LaPorte County. All right, so LaPorte heading up towards Rolling Prairie, New Carlisle, even Stillwell, all three of those areas or all four of those areas could pick up some pockets of strong wind still. All right, so you're just going to get darker outside. You might see that shelf cloud moving in. You'll get heavy rain and you'll get wind, and then it'll be over with. It's a pretty quick hit, and things kind of calm down after that with a little bit of lightning. All right, so here's our wind radar right now. We're going to continue to keep a close eye on anything that's happening here. Notice how we are in just radar analysis wise, this LaPorte County storm starting to fan out. All right, so it was a real compact area of wind that was moving through back towards the west, and now it's getting kind of wider, as you can see, and now it's pretty wide right now. So what that tells me is that this is starting to kind of gush out a little bit. That's good news for those in eastern LaPorte County. I would imagine there's going to be a little bit of a weakening trend to this coming up, okay? Still some strong winds, though, initially, but again, that energy, that compact ball of strong wind is starting to, kind of fan out a little bit. So good news for our folks in Stillwell and Rolling Prairie. We'll see what happens, but LaPorte's getting hit pretty hard right now. All right, what are you guys seeing in terms of reports? Debbie, I just see your comment on there. Can we hit rewind? We need more rain. Yeah, it'd be nice if this whole thing could come back at us, But yeah, unfortunately, these quick hits of rain is what we get. All right, what do we have? Craig says pouring in DeMont. Yeah, good rain for you in DeMont right now, Craig. I don't see any crazy wind. That's the good news. Let's see. Stephanie says, still waiting for wind in the pines and still dry beneath my maple tree. Wow. Waiting for more rain. Not a lot of rain behind that initial hit, Steph, unfortunately. It's just really that main hit of rain that's moving through, and then we're done. Draga says wind came in and stopped all of a sudden. Thanks for that update. Appreciate that. Oh, crazy wind is back again. There's that. Nicole says Michigan City, really nothing happening. Yeah, the worst is east of you now. Probably had some strong winds coming off the lake there, but that's good news. Just got some heavy rain. You just got light rain from here on out. Not really a big deal. And Drega's in Wanata saying that the rain is in there right now. for sure. Yeah, Ethan. Ethan's joining us on our YouTube channel talking about the MCS pattern next week. That's that Ring of Fire pattern or that Ridge Rider pattern that we talked about a couple minutes ago, 10, 15 minutes ago. Certainly looks like it, Ethan. Yeah, the models have indicated for weeks now that we would have that kind of setup, but it looks to come to fruition next week. And it's not going to be centered out of the Midwest. It's going to be centered more out of the Tennessee Valley. So we could see more of a west to east flow than what we normally would, where it's curving out, of Michigan or Wisconsin. It'd be coming more out of Iowa, going across Illinois, Indiana, and Ohio. So we'll see. But that's that pattern we were talking about setting up into next week, where we could have some severe weather, and we'll have some serious heat down towards the south as well. All right, Rensselaer, you've got one more downpour, then you're about done. You've got some good rain, though, for you. Wheatfield, you're about done with the rain. The heaviest is now east of town. This rain is getting into North Judson right now. St. Pierre picking up some heavier rain. This stretches down into areas like Bailey's Corner, Moody, Pleasant Ridge, over towards McCoysburg, picking up heavy rain as we get into areas of eastern Jasper County. All right, off towards the north. We'll take you through the radar tour here. We've got this Boeing segment, which is producing that wind, heads up rolling prairie. You've probably got a really good-looking cloud coming in right now. That wind is starting to pick up. Overall, this is going to head out towards the east. Eileen, I see you just joined right now. I get your comment in here, and I see other comments coming in from LaPorte County right now. Jeff, thank you for the update. I know 0.2 in Couts, that's it. Oh, I know, better than nothing. You don't have to water tonight, so there's that. But overall, what we're seeing here in LaPorte County, we've got strong winds still on the leading edge of this, all right? So that's heading into rolling prairie down towards Kingsbury. LaPorte right now, the worst is Bayou. You've got some strong winds that move through, but it's just heavy rain from here on out, and it won't last real long. This is a very skinny line of storms. Down towards Hannah, we've got a little bit of hail with that storm, but that's a quick hit of rain. And then that rain's going to last a little bit longer in areas of Stark County, as you get kind of an appetizer here with this initial batch, and then you get the main show, which is eventually going to catch up to that. But overall, you get rain a little bit longer than anyone else as that moves through. In terms of this entire line, though, and what's severe, it's the LaPorte County storm, and it's for the areas of strong winds within that line that continue to produce some pretty decent returns on radar here. Getting a little noisy down to the south, perhaps some pockets of some stronger winds, as I mentioned. Heading into Madairyville, North Judson heads up for you. You might have some stronger wind with it. We'll see if they end up doing not a tornado, a severe thunderstorm. I hope not. They may do a severe thunderstorm warning for this. We'll see what they do with that as those winds continue to pick up. But we've got to keep in mind, it's getting further away from the radar site, so that's a little tougher to read. But in terms of LaPorte County, what you're looking at here with the bright oranges and yellows, this is the strong wind, all right, within the storm. So you're getting the rain. We've got the strong wind moving right through LaPorte right now. Overall, this is going to continue to head out towards the east. Yeah, Eileen, thank you for that. Windy as heck in Rolling Prairie right now. You're always our Rolling Prairie correspondent. So yeah, that wind is picking up. You've got probably another 5-10 minutes of the stronger wind. So let me know. If you can estimate a speed, I would like to know, because we're getting further away from the radar site here, so it is tougher to get a read of what's happening at the surface. But you've got strong wind. I would say another 10-15 minutes within this, and that rain it's on your doorstep as well. That heavy rain is going to hit like a wall. It's going to be kind of like a hurricane for a little bit here in Rolling Prairie, and we've seen that very similar situation play out across much of the area. This is getting up into New Buffalo, areas of Berrien County. LaPorte, you're about done, and then we've got that heavier rain down towards the south. You can see that line continues out towards the east. Real tiny line. It doesn't last long. It's lasted longer in Newton and Jasper counties. Stark County will get rain longer than anyone else. But boy, LaPorte County, Porter County, Lake County, which is a quick hit with this, right? It wasn't too big of a deal. Not the biggest line we've ever had in terms of showers and thunderstorms, but it's been enough to at least prevent you from watering this evening. So that's the good news as this continues to roll out towards the east, all right? Okay, well, I'll tell you what, I'm going to let you go here because outside of what we've talked about, this is going to be out of LaPorte County shortly. Out in Rolling Prairie for Eileen, we're watching, obviously, strong winds over the next 10 minutes or so. Heads up for any folks that are doing recreational stuff at Hudson Lake. We've probably got some strong winds coming your way, I would say another 5-10 minutes or so. We've got powerful winds down in LaPorte, which are now heading east. those will get into some kind of the rural part of LaPorte County, north of Fish Lake. Overall, that'll eventually get out of town and head into areas like South Bend with strong winds, perhaps. We'll see if they extend that warning they did over to South Bend, so we'll watch that. But overall, that's awesome. Yeah, get him inside. Those husbands need not be outside much longer, all right? Tell them not to mess around with the lightning. We've got some lightning with us as well. So that storm's going to continue out towards the east, and then it's out of here. I'm not expecting much more the remainder of the evening. In fact, this is going to set the stage for one of the coolest days we've had in a long time around here. This, at least this summer, we'll have temperatures that struggle to get out of the 70s tomorrow. How about that behind this front? And then we talk heat and humidity making a return next week. Okay. All right, guys, we're going to let you go. We've been going for an hour now. Hopefully, we helped you get safely through the storms. As always, want to make sure this is helpful to you guys. So if you have any reports, just go ahead and throw them on this chat. It'll post on our Facebook page, or you can throw a comment on our YouTube channel of any reports you have. You can attach a picture and where you're from. I'd be happy to forward anything that is severe onto the Weather Service. Otherwise, we can come and look at the reports in there and stuff like that. All right. Okay, guys, I appreciate it. Again, stay safe. Areas of eastern LaPorte County, some strong winds, and then this will be out of here. Stark County, I'll keep an eye on it. It's not severe right now, but some pretty good thunder moving through your area with heavier downpours. All right, guys, have a wonderful evening. We'll talk to you soon.